Good morning, traders. How's everybody doing out there? All right, let me know if you can hear me okay. Make sure the audio is working before we get going, and you should see my screen right now, so that's always a good idea to check that. If you have a problem with the audio, or if you have a problem visually seeing what I'm trying to show you here, let me know in the comments area. Otherwise, I may not even know and keep going. So that's kind of important. All right, market's topsy-turvy. We're kind of up yesterday. We're kind of flat today, a little on the downside, but we'll check it out. And the purpose, okay, audio and visual, good, thank you. All right, so the purpose of Stock Analysis Friday is for me to give you an opinion based on my analysis using our software here at traderscoach.com. And the idea is anything, if you may be long in something and you kind of want to know, should you stay in it, get out? Maybe your broker called you and suggested a stock and you want me to check it from a technical standpoint. A lot of times brokers focus on fundamentals, and that's fine, but it's also good to time your trades using technicals, and that's where I can come in and help you. Maybe you're considering a trade on your own and you want me to take a look at it. Glad to do that for you today. And I'm here every Friday, so the idea is I'm here 8 a.m. Now, why do I do this? A lot of people say, well, could I be day trading? Sure. Okay. And I do that. But I like to do this every Friday for a variety of reasons. One, it keeps me in contact with you guys out there. And two, it allows me to show you our software, which we do sell. Okay. So we sell our timing software called the ART software. We also sell risk control software. So it's a way for me to introduce the software in such a way that I'm actually doing it on a stock that may interest you. So that's what Stock Analysis Friday is all about. We're here for about a half an hour. And go ahead and type any symbols you want me to look up. They have to be stocks or ETFs. And type them in caps for me. And two at a time, okay? Sometimes if you type too many in, then I can't get to everybody. So two at a time, you can always come back and type those same two in again. And again, we're going to be here for about a half an hour. And so let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to go through some administrational items. Have to do this. First thing I have to talk about are the risks involved in trading. Yes, there are risks. We can't make guarantees. We deal in a realm of probabilities. Please trade with money you can afford to risk, called risk capital. Don't be trading with your rent or your mortgage money. All right, you get in trouble for that. Also, two, check with your financial advisor. If I make a suggestion or give you my opinion on a particular stock, I don't know your personal situation. So check with them to make sure it's suitable for you. Okay, that's really important. Let's see, what else can I tell you here? In terms of guarantees and probabilities, the markets, what we try to do with the markets is we try to be more right than wrong. And then when we're wrong, protect our downside through strict risk control. That's what and that gives you an edge. And that edge is what trading in the markets is all about. So it all starts with an edge first, but that edge has to incorporate risk control. Now, if you are a day trader, I'm going to show you a slide in a minute to a prop firm. And if you're not familiar with a prop firm, basically a prop firm actually are really good. They give you the opportunity to take your edge and actually make money with it, and they give you a payout. So they provide the capital. And if you're profitable, they'll pay up to 90% of your profits to you. All right, so it's a good deal. I recommend one called Apex, and I'll get to that in a minute. They also give you free data, so that's kind of good right now. So the way it works is basically you start out with a simulated account. Once you have reached the goals required, and the goals required are really there to make you a good trader. So actually, if you can't reach those goals, you're not quite ready yet. So keep that in mind. But in any case, I'll talk more about that. And then once you're funded, then you can make some money. All right, couple books you may be interested in. One is Money Management for Traders. The other one is A Trader's Money Management System, both excellent books. You can get them both. One is a real concise read, and that's the one on the far right, second from the left. A more comprehensive dive is the one on the left. They're produced, the one on the left produced by Wiley. We produced the one ourselves on the second from the right. Then I have Elliott Wave Technique Simplified, which is a form of technical analysis that kind of gives us a roadmap to the markets. That was published by McGraw-Hill. And then my newest book out this year, it's not out yet, but it's coming out this year. We're finished it. It's going to be an awesome book. It's called The Art of Trading, second edition. And that's the book on the far right. And that will replace the other book, second from the left, called The Art of Trading, published originally in 2008. So my publisher, Wiley, said it was time for a second edition. And I agreed with them because we came out with a lot of neat new stuff and new software. So that's what the second edition's all about. We're pretty excited about that because it should be hitting the bookstores pretty soon. You can pre-order that either through Wiley themselves or your favorite bookstore, or even just go to Amazon. Okay, so those are available. If you want to come back, you can get. By the way, you can get to our Amazon page on our website, or I'll put a link in the recording down below where you can access it. Same thing with our software. I'll put a link below if you're interested in learning more about our software, or go to our website. And we have charting software, which is the top row at the top. We have scanners in the middle, and then we have risk control software at the bottom. Now, we've been doing this a long time, and you have to have good risk control. All right. A lot of people will sell you entries and exits, but you got to have the risk control formula met as well. Very important to be successful. And the scanners, of course, are how you can sort through the over 10,000 plus stocks out there to find those needles in the haystack, so to speak. All right, so that's available. I'll put a link below, or you can go to the website on that. Okay, here's my little spiel on prop firms, and this is Apex Trader Funding. It's been around the longest. It's the one I use. The payouts, they actually do pay you out, okay? So you don't have to worry about that. They're a very legit firm and very good. I put a link up in the area of the chat here for you, and I'll put a link in the recording as well. That link is important because if you use it, you get a tremendous discount because we have an affiliate situation with them. So you can use our link with our coupon code, and they'll give you a discount on any subscriptions you can buy. And basically the subscriptions mean accounts. You can get a $25,000 account, $50,000 account, all the way up to $300,000. And the nice thing is, for you day traders out there, this is for day trading, not position trading, but for you day traders out there trading the futures market, this is the way to go. All right, because they give you free data. You're not risking your own money. All right, you're risking theirs, so to speak. You got to get qualified, so you got to be good. It helps you develop your edge, and it's fun. Okay, it's just plain fun. So definitely check that out as well. All right, let's keep going here. Oh yes, I always have to say, please like, subscribe, and share. That seems to be the YouTube motto. So give us a like, I guess, right now. All right, I don't want to go over this. Let's get out of here. So we're done with this portion. Excuse me. And I want to jump in to Bitcoin to start off, and go ahead and type in your symbols at any time. And when I finish my analysis on Bitcoin, I'll get to those. All right. So first of all, what are you looking at, right? All right. This is my charting platform with all our software installed. And this is NinjaTrader. So I like NinjaTrader. Our software also works on TradeStation, multi-charts, eSignal, MT4, and MT5. Okay. So there you have it. We're looking into TradingView, but as of right now, not yet. Okay. So that may be coming down the pike, but we'll see. Okay. So on the NinjaTrader platform, which you see in front of you here, there's 3 charts, right? So you know, the chart on the left is a 60-minute chart. And then we have the daily chart and then the weekly chart. So there they all are. So this, when I look at 3 charts, all right, I'm basically looking at the same symbol across different time frames. And the reason I do that is it's called multiple time frame analysis. It helps me determine the best time to pull the trigger. So I get a longer view of what I'm looking at, an intermediate view, and then a view on the left-hand side. Sometimes if I really want to take a really short-term trade that I may only be in for a week, I usually will enter on the 60-minute chart. If it's more of a position trading opportunity, then I'll go ahead and use the daily. And then if it's a more of like almost like an investment, I'll use the weekly, okay? But I like to look at all 3 time frames because it tells me if I'm going in the flow or the momentum is the same across all 3 time frames, so to speak, okay? So that's it. Now we have our software loaded on each chart. So on the 60-minute chart, you can see all this stuff down here, same stuff here, right? And the same stuff on the weekly chart. So this is all of our software, and then we have price action software, which is our pyramids, our fractal pyramids. We have reversal signals for scaling out and scalping. We have fear and greed signals for scaling out and scalping. And so, but we put them on all 3 time frames. And again, our signals are telling me something. So that's kind of why I look at it. All right. And as we analyze stuff, if I see something I need to tell you more specifically about it, I will certainly do that. At the top, this rainbow colored thing, that's our scanners, okay? So those, probably not gonna use those today because you'll be giving me symbols. All right, so first thing on Bitcoin I wanna talk about here. All right, so our target eventually for Bitcoin is between 82,000 right now to 102,000. That could change, but that's our target. When do I think we're gonna reach that? Always difficult to say, but I'm thinking sometime at the end of this year to early 2025. Let's just say maybe something the first quarter of 2025. Okay, so that's kind of where I'm at on that. Now, the problem with Bitcoin right now is it's still in some form of a corrective phase. So basically, after a big move up, it's not unusual for there to be profit taking and then a washout, and then the new trend emerges to the upside. So it's kind of like when you get to the top of an Elliott wave 3, so I'm going to put this number up here, and that's what that means. Then you kind of have a little bit of a bubble, all right? People take profits, and it takes quite a while for all that to work its way out. And then you have another surge up, and you usually take out the high of wave 3, and this is called a wave 5. So there are 5 waves in an Elliott wave trend. All right, so there they are, 3, 4, 5. So the idea is that the 5th wave, you want to take profits because then the trend is over. Now, do I think wave 4 is this over yet? That's the big question. We certainly had hoped it would be over by now. It made another low back into a Fibonacci target zone. So that's what these little blue lines are here. These are Fib target zones, and this is a wave 4. So my only concern with this right now is that over here, I've got a red PTF. Over here, I've got a green one now. So what do you do with that? Well, you always read from left to right. So short term, we should get a little bit more lift. But if this stays red, that is not the beginning of a wave 5 yet. It means wave 4 still could make another low. And this has a 75% probability of accuracy, and it has a 75% probability of accuracy on the 60-minute chart. So it looks like it's going to probably break 62,000 before it turns around and goes back down. So that is kind of an important thing to understand. So what do you do with this? Well, if you're looking to buy, I'd probably wait. If it gets back down into this area, I think you're going to have a great buying opportunity. If you're long and you're holding it, realize you're going to have a little bit more correction before we eventually reach the anticipated high of wave 5. So that's kind of how you're going to play that. The other thing that makes me fairly confident that this wave correction is correct is we have on the longer term weekly chart, we have green for the owl. This is measuring momentum. And we have green here. So even though we have had a pullback, again, with this being 75% accurate, we should, after the pullback, return and make a high. So it's different than it was in this configuration when the market went way up and then sold off, okay? You didn't have any green back then. Now you have the green. So that's an indication that we're going to make another high. And this is also an indication of a classic wave 3, okay? So the charts are all pointing and in sync that the fifth wave is not over yet. Okay, so there you have it. So I'm bullish on Bitcoin, bearish short term, bullish long term. And kind of that's where I'm at with that. All right, so let's see what we got coming in here. All right, Ted, how you doing, Ted? All right, RITM. RITM. Let's take a look at that one. All long for at least 6 months. Good to know. All right. I see a lot of red on the PTFs. That concerns me. We're going up a little bit for right now. I personally, I don't know. You've been in for 6 months, you said, so you're sitting at pretty good profits, right? You should be doing pretty good with this. I would probably, at this particular point, I'd use the 60-minute chart, and I would probably, for right now, scale out if we go below $10.90 roughly. Let me get an exact figure for that. And don't forget, this is my opinion. This is the way I would trade it. So that's 1093, so that's 1092. Because ultimately, if you hold it according to this PTF, all right, we should breach below $10. And this may have been a correction here. And if that's the case, we're kind of at the end of the wave, bullish wave 4. And guess what? Wave 5 could make new lows below 3. So I would protect your profits is what I'm trying to tell you on that. Okay. You know, if you want to put a stop here for a scale out and then get the rest out, if we go under this area here, which is, you know, let's see what we got there. That's 1053. That's 1052. Go ahead and maybe I would go ahead and get out. Okay. The signals are just too bearish. Okay. So that's RITM. So that's not a recommendation for the group as well, because it's not one I want you to put you long, and it's not quite ready to go short, but it should be a short soon. All right. So let's see VZ. Hopefully that helped you. Let's see VZ here. All right. So you're long on this one. Okay. This one's a little better than the other one, obviously. And you can see there's no red PTFs down here. All right, so we've got a green PTF here. So I think you can hold this one. All right, doesn't mean you might not go sideways, but eventually it should resolve itself up to the upside. Let me just make sure that we have retraced an area here that I would consider. Yeah, so you just hit the retracement here. It's also possible you could take another dip going down here because we do not have a green here. But even if it does that, it still should resolve itself and head back up. So I would continue to hold this. All right, you've been in it for 6 months, so you've done well in this one. Now, again, if we dip below here and you're uncomfortable about holding it, if it goes further into this retracement target, it's already hit it twice. So that's a good sign. But it could return and go make a lower. It is possible. You may want to put a stop under there for maybe you know, a third or a half year position if that would make you nervous if it went below there. Okay, so that's my recommendation. This one's a hold. The other one I would dump. Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. A couple more here for you, Ted. SLG. All right. All long for 6 months on these two. Okay. Okay. So the PTF is yellow here. I would probably put my stop on this one right here, right under this area here. And that stop would be basically 57.26. Okay. I think probably you'll probably get stopped out because here we are with a red PTF there. So you may want to dump a little right now. Okay. But I would put my stop for everything, okay, fairly tight here. You got a red PTF on the weekly chart. You've got one here. You've had a profit-taking move up, and this should not be red if this is a new trend up. Now, this indicator is 75% accurate. It's not 100% accurate. So 25% of the time, it's wrong. So don't forget that, okay? I'm just giving, I go with the probabilities. So when I give you a recommendation, it's based off the probabilities. All right, let's take a look at SOUN. But I certainly don't have a crystal ball. Wish I did, but I don't. Okay, so this one, not a lot of history on this one. You've been long 6 months on this. You probably got a little profit, right? But not a lot. Green PTF here, red here. So it looks like this correction that has kind of been unwinding here may take a little bit more of a low, go below the $4 mark here. And then let me just make sure that is the $4 mark. So, yep, that's the $4 mark. So then here, as long as this stays green, you should get a rebound. And it looks like we should get eventually above 10. So I would probably at this point hold it. You may be holding it a while. And you're going to have to be okay if it goes under $4. How much under $4? Well, let's hope this bottom here holds, right? If that doesn't hold, then it could drop down to 2 from there. So maybe consider this as a hard stop at 351. Okay. Now, because there's a pretty good probability we'll go below 4 because this is red, you may want to scale out now of some positions, right? Nothing wrong with that if you're sitting at a slight profit because things have changed since you probably went in it in the beginning. When things change, you have to change with it. So I'm a little concerned about the red PTF on the 60-minute chart on the far left in terms of short term. All right. You can always get out a little bit here and get back in. If this is right, you'll be able to get back in under $4. So might want to consider that because we're sitting at 496. So that's quite a percentage of the price of the stock. Okay. All right. Good. Stu, how are you? California Stu. How's everything in the good state of California these days? Okay, let's see what we got here. All right, KVUE. Let's see what we got here. Big bounce off the bottom. All right, I like it, but I don't like it. All right, this gap up. All right, this thing certainly could go, but it's a little Russian roulette here because a lot of gaps fill. So if you get way up in here, this thing could come back a couple points before surging forward. And there's not a lot of history on this, so I have no idea where this is going. All right. We have a green PTF that's indicating that we have at least an indicator target up here of 2158, and we're at 2112. The risk is too great for that little reward. I'd pass. Okay. Now you own them, then have your stop. I would set your stop under this 60-minute chart because you have our software. You can look. So under the 60-minute chart at 2060. If you're long term and you're kind of just going to let it wing, we'll let it wing. Okay. But short term, if you're a short term trader, you'd have a stop and lock in some of that profit that the market so nicely gave you this week. All right, let's try to take a look at good old PayPal. PYPL, who owns these two. What a ride on PayPal. Look at that. Okay. All right. So PayPal has moved off its bottom on the daily chart. You can see on the weekly chart, which is the chart on the far right, we're still in this kind of channel here. Like to see it break above 70 to break out of that channel. We have a red owl here, so the momentum is still kind of down on the long-term chart. The daily chart here, we're seeing some move to the upside and move to the upside here. I don't see any reason to not hold it. Okay, you got in near the bottom. All right, it just may be a while or not before it breaks out. I don't think you did anything wrong going into this. We have no red PTFs. You know, again, if you want to protect your downside and put a stop under the all-time low here, that was back in 2023, you could do that. Nothing wrong with doing that, unless you just want to hold it for quite some time. But that stop would have a low of 50.25. So your stop would be at 50, what, 20 maybe, or 24, however you want to do that. But yeah, I'd hold it for right now. Okay. PFV, let's take a look at Pfizer here. All right, good old Pfizer. We looked at this last week. This is our target, 36.30 to 43. So it took its first leg up. It's pulling back right now. No longer have a red PTF on the 60. If you own it, no reason to get out of it. But you're in a pullback in what could be a nice bullish trade up to 36.60 to 43. And so I would hold it, okay? There's no reason to get out. The bottom has to hold. So I guess your stop is under this 25 mark. And there's nothing indicating we should take that out. But you got to watch the price action, because if it does get taken out, then it's going to go down some more again. Okay, so that's probably a good place to put your stop. All right, more from Ted via Gene. Let's see what we got here. PLTR. Again, he's had these for 6 months. All right, so let's see. Let's go back 6 months. Probably right around, I guess you're right around break-even point here. So we've had a nice run up. It's kind of a messy stock, a lot of pullbacks, deep pullbacks. All right, so what do you do in a case like this? Well, we're up, right? We got the red PTF over here. It makes me nervous. Now, you know, PTF, 25% of the time it's wrong. And when it's wrong, in this case, it would have to clear this upper band, and then it would turn green, and then that would be a hold. So maybe we can give it a little chance to do that, okay? Maybe put your stop. I'd put your stop under this mark here. So let's see where that is. That's a low of 20. It's pretty tight, all right? 26.70, so 26.69. If you're feeling a little chancy and you want to hold it longer, you can use this downward move here that reversed at a low of 21.22. So I'll leave that up to you, okay? But again, this is the PTF is saying it's going to go below the 21 anyway. So I probably would put it here, okay? And I don't see great opportunity in this and where it's going. I see a more significant pullback coming at some point. So I'm kind of thinking maybe take some profits when you can, okay? All right, let's go on to CL. Good old CL. Let's see, what is that? CL, use of the futures market. That would be crude oil, okay? All right, but this is not, okay? All right, so let's see what we got cooking here. Nice move up. 6 months, you've done well on this. You got a green PTF short term, so you may want to hold it for now, and you got a green one long term. Okay, so here's the situation. Long term, this is looking really good, but that doesn't mean you're not going to get a pullback. All right, so I don't know if you're in it for the long term or if you're in it for the short term. This move up cannot be sustained much longer, okay? You're going to get a big pullback. Just the way the markets work. Looks to me like short term will probably make one more high before we get that pullback. So this is the way I would play it. I'd stay with it. I'd have a stop, I think, maybe under this level here, okay? I think I'd go up a little bit and have a stop under 98.43 for most all the position. And if it makes another high and this turns yellow, I would start scaling out of half of your position and trail your stops up under support levels. That's what I would recommend for that. All right. All right, Mark, how are you? All right, so let's see. US CPA. Okay, I guess if you need a good accountant, there he is right there. All right, let's go. Tesla. Tesla was interesting. I was looking at this as well. And I got to tell you, if you look at the long-term charts, the classic wave 3, 4, and we're in wave 5. So here's your 3, here's your 4, and here's your 5. And the PTF is calling for the top of 5 right around the 426 mark, okay? Now, what's going on though? Okay, is wave 4 finished? Well, we certainly hope so, because this is where the stop needs to be, the overall stop for right now. We've got a little bit of red here because we've had this downdraft here. This has remained green, so that's good. But this thing's got to stop pretty soon and head back up, and I think it will. but not until it goes down one more time. So it looks like it's going to take out the 180 mark. We may find support right around the 170 mark on it, okay? And then a turnaround. So again, are you long-term or are you short-term? If you were short-term, you probably would have been out already. But since you're holding it, I think the target is going to be around 426. So I guess I would hold it, all right? And see what happens with that, okay? But, in terms of waiting, you're going to have to wait a little while, okay? So I hope you're okay with that, all right? And you're short. I'm sorry, I didn't read that. Short, sorry. All right, so sorry. Okay, so you're short at 225. Then I get out once we go below 180. Okay, so switch hats here from long to short. So you don't want to hold on to this, Mark. Okay, you want to definitely cover your short on the next low. So when this turns yellow, cover your short. Okay, that's the way I would do that. You've been short, long there. Also, too, if you get above this area here, I would probably scale out a half, okay? Take profits on half your short. So that would be a high of 208.08, okay? If you get above there, cover half your shorts. And if you want to keep them on until we go below 180, the other half, you can do that, okay? But eventually this should return and go long, but the momentum's still negative. But you'll probably get a little push up at some point. All right, so that's kind of how I would play that. And then if you get above here, all right, the August 1st high, I'd cover them. Okay, I just get out of the short position. Take your profits. Even if it dips back eventually and go lower, all right, take your profits and run, because I don't know, it shouldn't get above here. Okay, with this red PTF. So if it does, something's wrong and you want to get out, okay? So at 225, we should be able to get you out pretty much. So you really can't even wait for it to get up there because it's below, above 230. All right, so there you have it. Do not stay short on this too much longer, okay? I guess is where I'm coming from. All right, Ted again, the last from Ted. All right, no problem. Here's a good one, Ted. PITF. Let's see what we got here. Okay, so you're long on this one, and you've been long for 6 months. So you're probably kind of almost where we are. You're basically a little profit, probably, or break even. You got a red PTF here and a green one here. All of yours have red PTFs on the 60. Have you noticed that? So basically, you're pulling down a little bit still, and this is showing one more leg down, okay, before it's all over. So I'm looking at this from a longer term perspective. Oh boy, we took a top here too. That's a 4, that's a 5, change in trend. Oh boy, it's a tough call. Okay, so I don't think I would hold on to this one, because it's such a cheap stock that if it goes below 150, that's a large percentage, and I think you may be slightly a profit now. I would scratch the trade. Okay, dump it. I don't like it. Too much can go wrong with that. Let's take a look at BTI. Sometimes you just got to scratch it. All right. This one, however, you can hold. Okay. Now, again, long term, you're going to be rewarded. You may get a little bit of motion to the downside here. We've had a nice big trend up. I think what I would do here, we got bearish divergence starting to build. Once it clears, if it makes another high, I'd knock off half your position. Otherwise, I would knock off half if we go below 34 right in here, okay, and keep the other half on. So there's no question it's going higher, but I'm worried about a shorter term correction down to possibly 33, 32. And that may be okay for you, okay, because you're only at 36. So, it's a 10% correction from here. So we'll see, maybe a little more. All right, I'll let you worry about that, but that's Long term, you can hold it. Short term, you may want to take some profits, I guess is what I'm saying. All right. And yes, US CPA, thanks for joining us. Yeah, first time here. Great. All right. And Ted, I agree. Great picks you shared for us. Thank you. All right. Constance, how are you? All right. JCI. Let's take a look at old JCI for you. All right. Holding long term with big gain. Okay. Gotta love that. All right. Sue, what this, I think, I don't like this red PTF. It looks like we're going below 50. And we got a red here. So again, let me just open up this weekly chart and just see where we're at with this. My problem with this one is that I would have expected this to go up, come down. That's a hell of a retracement. The bottom held and then go up from here. Okay. This concerns me. All right. That shouldn't be there if we're going to make more highs. So that concerns me right there. So I'm reluctant to tell you to hold on to it. In terms of dumping it, in case that indicator is wrong, which it is 25% of the time, you might want to put your stop at 64 under here. And that's 64.31, so 64.30. But you also have a red PTF here. So again, this is my opinion. If it was me, I'd dump half of it now and maybe keep the other half here in case this is going to go one more time up, but it's not looking that way. Okay. If you're sitting on a lot of profits on this, then I would talk to your financial advisor, see what the tax consequences are, if any. You may have it in an IRA or something, but my recommendation is I wouldn't sit it out. I'd get out. Okay. All right. Let's take a look at gold. Plus, here's my take on the overall market itself. You know, this goes for the indexes like the Dow, the NASDAQ, and the S&P. I know a lot of people on YouTube are calling for a crash, and I don't disagree with that. I think their timing is not quite right. I think it's too early to say that now. There's not enough data in, and we haven't retraced enough on any of the major indexes to call for a bear market yet. Profit taking, yes. Short-term fear-based pullback, yes. But a new bear market, a crash, not yet. Now, that doesn't mean it can't be coming or starting, but there's not enough data to support that, okay, right now, from my viewpoint. So my viewpoint actually calls for one more high on the market. So I don't think we've seen the end of the bull market yet. And I don't know, maybe we'll get that when they lower rates by 25 basis points. Maybe the markets will stay stable, or the Fed will try to keep the market stable at least until after the election. But I do see a bear market next year. Okay, I do see that. But I think we got one more high on the market, and that's probably it. Now, some stocks will actually, do well if that happens. Not many, but there may be some. All right. So if you've had a big pullback and it looks like another Elliott wave 5, I think during the next surge up, you'll get that 5 top on a lot of these stocks. Okay. That's just, my opinion for what it's worth. All right. So let's see what we got here. You're holding long term at a loss. You're bullish on the metal itself. Yeah. I'm bullish on gold too, but I have to be honest with you. If the market sells off, I don't know if we're going to see much more topping on gold. I know that sounds ridiculous because it's usually an inverse relationship, but I don't see it. Okay. Gold is kind of hovering around a top. I think one more high on gold is certainly possible, but overall, I'm not as bullish on gold as I would have been, going back 20 years ago when gold was the only thing you could go into to affect a safety net, so to speak, for a selling equity market. Now you have inverse ETFs that people will go into. So I don't think the same amount of money is going into gold. And I know the gold folks there will hate me for saying that, but that's my opinion based on the analysis. All right, so back to this. I would hold this. Looks like another high is coming on this. But when that occurs, come back here and let's take another look at it. Look how messy that is there. This is a little different than regular gold, okay, because we've already retraced. You know, regular gold is still up in this area here. This is here. So kind of a messy market, all right? So it's not one of my favorites, I have to be honest with you. The PTF has you staying long, so I guess I would stay long on this. But when that turns yellow, you might want to consider, you know, trailing the stop up a little closer, okay? And so you're a little bit at a loss on that. And again, it depends on where you got in because, you know, you got to cut your losers short. So sometimes you just got to suck it in and get out, even though you don't want to, because you can't take another, your risk control can't take any more loss, okay? That happens. All right. Thank you for that. All right, hopefully that helped. Ooh, CVS. As long as it's not Rite Aid. All right, let's take a look at CVS here. All right, so CVS, you're watching. Okay, good. Watching is good. I don't think I would go long on this yet. I get why you're watching it because we've got a pyramid here. Looks like we may have held this bottom. Let's see, did we get above the high? I think we did, 111 what? 111.64. No, 113.65. And this is, we did not break the high on it. Ooh, that's interesting. Let me just open that up. Okay. Boy, I hate that when that happens, especially when day trading and you're sitting there thinking it'll break the top and then it's a double top instead. All right, so I would not go into this, okay? Watch it, bring it back next week, but I don't see enough bullishness. The 60-minute chart is still coming down. We don't really have really any upward movement yet on it on the small time frame. So it's very possible we can make another low on this. So it's don't do anything with that. All right, CRWD, CrowdStrike. Al, how are you doing? Okay, so question mark long. So he's he's looking at this as well. Do not go long. Got a red PTF on the daily, and this baby's crashing down quite a bit. I don't think the crashing down is over yet. So let's bring it back. You know, eventually it will be a good long position, but not yet. Okay, so hold off. It's in a major wave 4 and a variety on the weekly time frame, and we've got now a new change in trend here. So this was a 3, 4, 5 top, and look what happens. Boom. Okay, change in trend. This change in trend is a 3 here. So this 5 was the end of 3, kind of like the stock market is setting up to be. And then now we have a wave 4. Should be over pretty soon, I would think, but it's not over yet. So you may have a good buying opportunity a little further down the road, okay? All right. Okay. Well, we've gone over our half an hour, haven't we? Okay. Okay. So constants. Okay, good. Yeah, you know, when I give an opinion, I'm looking at the charts, and you guys might know a lot more about the fundamentals of a stock or a market than I do. But I kind of just go with the charts, and I kind of like it that way because it keeps my opinions based on the analysis in front of me instead of what maybe an analyst is telling me or something. So, I mean, but you know, again, my opinions here are based only on price action and what I see on the charts and our software. Okay, so I try to use those tools. All right, but thank you for coming today. Good. All right. All right. And Al, yes, hi to you too as well. All right, guys, I guess that's it for today. All right. Let's, for fun, why don't we just go over and see what the intraday markets are doing, and I'll put a little music on before I close the room. Kind of a messy MQ here. This is a 1 minute time frame, 15 second, and 5 minute for you avid day traders. Got a red PTF on the 5 minutes, so the trend looks like it's going to be down a little bit here, even though it's been up for a little while here. So I don't see a trade right now. It's too late to go short. I don't see a long trade, so I'll just keep it here, and you can check it out as the market unfolds. Kind of fun to watch the price bars go back and forth. All right, as we end the session today. And again, I'm going to put up on the banner, there is, come to our website if you're interested in our software tools. They're great tools. But also, too, check out, if you're one of these avid day traders, check out the Apex prop funding. It's a great way to day trade without risking your own money. And they give you data. So, I don't think it gets any better than that. It makes absolute sense to me. All right. So definitely check that out. And I guess maybe I should put the link back up in there. Okay, here's the discount link, so you can use that. And I'll earn a few bucks as well. Okay, so there you have it. Okay, so I'm going to remove this banner here since you have that. We'll hide that. We'll hide that one. And I guess we'll show that one. Okay. All right, so that's it, guys. Thanks for coming today. And have a great weekend, and we'll see you back here next week. All right, wait. We got one more. Okay, hold on. Let's see who we got here. Stokechella. Let's see. CRSP. Whoop, I don't want to do it here. Don't want to do it on the intraday time frames. Let's go back here. Boop. And get that there. CRSP for a long entry. Not yet. Okay, still coming violently down. Got a red PTF, so I'm expecting this thing based on this indicator, which I don't know how long you've been here, but this indicator has a 75% accuracy rate, so I kind of depend on it, and it looks like it's going to take out the 44.80 mark. So I would hold off. Take it, come back next week, and let's see if it's bottoming, because it will bottom, and it will be eventually a decent trade, but not yet. Okay, don't take it. All right. Thank you, Al. All right. There you got it. All right. Give us a like before you go. And I'll go back to these intraday time frames. And we will be closing the room in just a couple minutes. Okay. So thanks so much. I'll put a little music on before we close, and have a great weekend. And we'll see you next week.